Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a brand new episode of Full Steam Ahead. I'm your host, Zoe. Got Stebby on the other side. Cantu, another school night. You know them kids. You just know them kids are getting after him already in the second week of school. But hey, he's hanging in there. So
Hey, he's taking care of the future for us.
yeah, he is definitely the future for the next generation of kids. Hey, he might be
He's probably making like every student alternate every day to bring a coffee for him
a coffee or a new
with
coffee
some
cup or
donuts.
something. Get some bonus points for some of them classwork or some brownie points of being the
Whole
teacher.
time he just has a hoop tea in his cup.
Ah, that school might need to check that out. But nah, he's good for it. He's good for it.
Yes,
But
sir.
Stebby, I mean, how was the weekend? Obviously, we didn't record on Sunday like we would usually do, but luckily for the Astros, had an off day on Monday, and we're able to talk to everybody at 10:07 p.m. on a Monday, August 25th today.
I mean, we had a really good weekend. Saturday was fun. Got that little pickleball action going on for the first time. That was a good time. And then, me trying to be Mr. Strong Guy over here smacking the ball out of the freaking out of the park right there. So I mean, it was a good time. And then went out after that. Had some good ass food after too. Went to your career.
Yeah, the pickleball. I mean, that was interesting. That was my second time playing. And sure, it feels like second nature to me. But you over here making it feel like it's a baseball game, hitting it one out of the damn fence
Nah, I
and
just got
the
too
parking lot.
too much in the moment. I guess like all the adrenaline, you know what I mean, just moving. Because I mean, for a while, I remember we were like going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You know what I mean? So after a while, eventually somebody's gonna give. But
Oh
kind
yeah,
of
we
glad we
already got.
didn't film yesterday though, because boy, I would have been gassed running 2 hours straight.
Yeah, and then we gotta talk about that and right here after we look at Brady. We ready, we ready. Next Cam Smith. Let's go play when you come to Austin. Look at that. They got a connection over there playing a little bit pickleball. Like I said, that's a fun little sport. Honestly, it's
Yeah,
picked up a lot, like year by year. Pickleball has like gone up every time. See a lot of people going
I
out
feel
there.
like it barely came out though recently, huh? Kind of like 2 years.
Yeah, like it wasn't as big. Watch. Next thing you know, high school are gonna have
Well,
sport.
bro, I went to Dick's Sporting Goods the other day, and then I'm looking at the shoe section. They literally have a pickleball shoe section. I was like, okay, all right. Like, I don't think it really matters. Just need some flat shoes, kind of.
This is what like almost like strength training shoes, like what you wear in the
Yeah,
weight rooms.
yeah, kind of.
Hey, you might have to do that, and as soon as you lift some weights, hey, pickleball
Like,
court just down the
they
road.
know
Go
they're
over
gonna
there.
have freaking pickleball elbow sleeve, elbow guards, knee guards.
God. Hey, but that's a good. Honestly, that is actually good. You know, you get your strength training in, and after that, you get your cardio with the court.
Yeah, for sure.
So I might have to actually look into that. That's pretty.
Is it
That'd
meta
be pretty
chat?
neat to do.
Is it meta?
Hey, but 10 miles. Talk to us about that, man. I mean,
Just
Jesus,
pure.
you didn't. Okay, did you stop,
No,
take some breaks, or was it just a full on
just
jog?
straight raw dog. Dude, like I told my cousin like that. I was like, hey, you want to go bike ride Sunday? And he thought like ideally that I was gonna bike ride with him. So then when we met up, he's like, "Where's your bike at?" And pretty much, and I was like, "No, I'm gonna run, and you could bike ride." So he showed up with his girlfriend, and I lied to him. I was just like, "Yeah, I think I'm just gonna run like 4, 5, take a break, and then we'll come back, bro." I was like, "Nah, hell no." I just kept it going. Once I got to like once I passed like my PR, which was 6, I was like, "Nah, I can't stop at all." So
So you didn't stop at all, like straight up.
nah,
Stop
I
the
couldn't.
cap.
I couldn't. I
Nah,
couldn't,
you
bro.
can't.
Just
I feel like you're capping.
not capping.
Damn, you got that. What was the time at least?
It was kind of slow. I mean, let me see. What was it?
That's insane though. To do 10 straight miles. I mean, people do that with marathons.
10 at an hour and 55.
Almost doing
It's
two
a chill,
hours.
a chill 11-minute pace. I mean, honestly, like I wasn't even trying to go fast, but there was a lot of ups and downs. I went like on the north side of TC Gesture Park. That kind of like I ran towards like the Heights area,
Hmm.
and bro, it was like a bunch of ups and downs. Honestly, that killed me.
Ooh, and then inclines and
Yeah,
ooh, I
yeah.
know that was a little part on your quads right there.
And I had told my cousin in the beginning, like, I might have to piss in a bit. So if I do stop, that might be the thing. Bro, I don't even think I had to pee anymore. All my freaking pee just might as well sweat it out of my body by then. But we ain't here to talk about all that. We
No,
here to
we do
talk
not
about
want to
the
hear you
Astros.
trying to take a Stop to. I'm surprised dogs didn't even chase you at this point. Climb onto the bike. But good start for the Astros. Like we have the title of episode 282 because we had talked about in the last one that after being swept by the Tigers, they had to take care of business by taking care of these teams that are below 500 winning percentages. And it had to start with Baltimore over there at Camden Yards in Baltimore, Maryland, and they did a really good job taking 3 out of the 4 games. If you're a Houston Nationals fan, you probably were very optimistic about this outcome. You would have loved to seen a sweep, but hey, you can get take what you get. And sure enough, the Astros did a really good job. I guess that player meeting kind of helped out this offense because I mean the first game they scored 7, the second game they scored 10, third was 9. So man, offense was rolling since being scoreless from 31 innings into this series against Baltimore. They and Houston did a really good job. They adjusted from last pitching because majority of the time, I think the starting pitchers from the last series back at Dyken Park were almost the same starters here at Camden Yards, except I think the series finale was Trevor Rogers, and I mean Trevor Rogers is pitching like a damn Cy Young over there. Which honestly, if you're Baltimore, you got to try to find a way to extend him because that's really their ace of that rotation so far, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, honestly, it was just a matter of time for this damn lineup to get it back together. These guys are too damn talented to not even perform and played anybody at home. And like Astro Work Craig said, forgot how much fun it was to watch the Astros offense. And he's right. I mean, when the Astros are on fire, they're a really fun team to watch because they just cause a lot of drama and they have fun with it. And what even better is that they're one of the most hated teams in the world. So it's like whenever you see like national televised TV and stuff, sometimes you have these unbiased commentators commenting, leaning towards other sides of the teams, and then you just hear like, what did they have to do? They have nothing else but to cheer for the Astros, tip the cap to them and give them their flowers.
Yeah, Houston did a really good job. I'd say more of the offense in this series, and we've always talked about starting pitching always being there helping them out, even the bullpen. Well, it was the complete opposite, I would say, for the Astros against the Orioles because I mean, like I mentioned, game 1 7, game 2 10, game 3 9. Obviously, the finale didn't go as planned for the offense, but hey, it means just one of them things when you're going against a really good pitcher in Rogers. But the bullpen, of course, still a little shaky. Starting pitching, a little shaky, I would say too. But good pitching performances from Jason Alexander and Spencer Rigetti. Of course, Lance McCullers Jr. just had his first start back from that unbelievable blister that he had, and then Christian Javier. Of course, we had talked about his velocity dropping, and it was kind of a little cautious uh, thing to monitor during this game against the Orioles. But I mean, at 2 innings from him, that wasn't something I had on my bingo card. Especially that he went 3 innings. Of course, he had got ill during that start, but yeah, you're hoping for him whenever he goes back on his starts to do a better job. But let's get what we got for these objectives. So hopefully, this will be a easy pod tonight. Of course, we don't have Angel for his input, but hey, we're gonna make it as entertaining as possible. Of course, we're gonna recap this Baltimore series. We'll preview that Rocky series as the Colorado Rockies, who have already been eliminated from playoff contention, will
Yeah, no,
be
it's
visiting.
sad. It's sad that they didn't even put like anything about the clubhouse. They put a freaking picture of the mascot, like sad when they're
Yeah,
talking about the
poor Dinger.
elimination.
Like if it was Dinger's fault that the Rockies are playing
Yeah,
this
right.
bad. But we'll have that. We'll talk about the Astros offense, how it exploded this series, and what it can look like with potentially Jordan Alvarez. More than likely, in my opinion, that's going to be returning to the lineup in this 10-game homestand. And if we have, well, of course, we're going to talk about injury updates, but if we have time, we'll look into around the horn because there's just a bunch of stuff in baseball going around. Like, for instance, Cal Raleigh hitting his 50th home run today.
Bro, that
Honestly,
dude, that dude is crazy.
I'm gonna say it
And,
right
and
now.
another person that's really crazy too, Caminero. Caminero hit.
Caminero, my God, he's already
He's about to
close to
hit
40
40.
home
Yeah,
runs.
he's about to hit 40. I think he tied already the second most in Rays franchise history for home runs. And that dude's a rookie, bro.
22 years old. Like
39 home runs.
it's insane. I mean, you got a glimpse of it at the home run derby. I mean, tell Angel he dove for the ball with his
Oh
torn
yeah,
pants.
and his
But
short pants. They got it in the rafters too. I think they caught him over there at the freaking Hall of Fame place. They wanted the ball with the
hey,
pants.
they wanted the ball, but hey, the pants are probably hung up on in a frame on somewhere. So But no, Kyle Raleigh, tip your cap. I mean, he's honestly, this is my opinion. He's the MVP. Seeing this in a catcher,
Yeah, he has to be
looking
definitely.
catcher,
Somebody
I
that's on
mean,
their
it's
knees
insane.
damn near every damn second of the game, like squatted down, and then you get up there and go out of bat and do it from both sides.
Like it's just magnificent what he's been doing. I mean, I can't remember last. You can say Piazza, maybe Pudge is another guy, another power that could. I think he did win the MVP if I'm not mistaken with the Rangers. But the season, at least the offensive season that Cal
Oh, you
Raleigh
want you want to
had.
know what else he also did too?
Go ahead.
Hit the most home runs in a season by primary catcher, which we do know that.
Mhm.
But he also passed Mickey Mantle for most multi-homer games in a season.
There
That's
we got
the
stats by
Mickey.
Stebby today, and it
That's
wasn't even
Mickey
an
Mantle,
Astro
bro.
stat.
Yeah, I know, but it's just a cool little baseball stat to throw out there for. And if you're a baseball fanatic and you're here to listen, I mean, you're here to listen about everything because I mean they're obviously in our division as well, which they just took the lead on the Padres right now in the bottom of the fifth, 5-4.
Yeah, and Astro fans are gonna have to monitor that because as of right now, your Houston Astros are 72 and 59, still leading the American League West. If I had seen last, they have a 2 game lead over the Mariners. If the Mariners lose, 2.5. If the Mariners win, I believe it'd go to a game and a half, if I'm not mistaken. But good start, like I said, for the Houston Astros being able to take care of business against the Baltimore Orioles. And maybe before we get started with that, Steph, I'm gonna ask you again. If you want to, you want to. If you don't, I got you right here, Bubba.
Now you got me. You
All right,
got me.
let's do it. Full Steam Ahead on Twitter, on X, as well as on TikTok. You can see all our reels and our shorts, and of course, we have our tweets, our in-game tweets from the game going on. Especially if you're tuned in for the past 2, 3 seasons now, we've been doing this. But FSA Full Steam Ahead on Instagram, where we have some interviews and, like I said, with reels, things like that. But more than likely, you got to go to YouTube. YouTube has everything from shorts to reels to interviews with players. We just recently posted the Billy Wagner press conference. Of course, Billy talking about his story, what his experience was like at Cooperstown, having his number retire, why he chose the number 13. I mean, it was awesome to be a part of and listen to all those stories. Um, Highly recommend go out there and look at that video. It's on our YouTube page, so make sure after this video, if you want to stay up and be a night owl, I mean, hey, you can go check that out. Like I said, it's about, if I'm not mistaken, 12 minutes long, but hey, it has a lot of history, a lot of great stories from him. We also have the timestamps on there. So if you want to look into what kind of catches your eye, just check it out in the description area and it'll be there. So make sure you like that video and make sure you subscribe to the channel. Then you won't miss videos and stuff like that. We will have a Larry Durker one talking about Billy Wagner because Durker was the manager when Wagner came up, as well as Bill Brown, broadcaster for the Houston Astros, who led the pregame ceremony. But that was talking about the video and TikTok aspect of social media. How about the audio play? I mean, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts, we are there. So make sure you tell your buddies, tell your friends, tell your fam. Tell everybody, spread the word. We are on there. Big things coming soon, hopefully for each and every one of us. But Stebby, let's get this started real quick. Astros did score 29 runs this series. That is a very good sign to see that this offense is alive, even though they, like I said, were scoreless and 31 innings from Baltimore to Detroit, and obviously being swept by the Tigers. But we did talk about game one the last episode, but real quick, we just recap that real quick. Jason Alexander doing George Costanza things, 5 1/3, 8 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, 91 pitches were thrown, 60 of them were strikes, 3 straight quality starts prior to this as well. So, I mean, Alexander, just like Brennan Walter, I mean, all these guys that you really hadn't heard of coming up and doing a job. And he's done a fantastic job being in this rotation when his name has been called. Of course, we do not know what it's going to look like when Luis Garcia returns. We're not going to, with JP France as well. But the way that Alexander is pitching right now, I just do not see him coming out of this rotation anytime soon.
Yeah, Alexander's a really solid piece, and that's one that blows people by surprise because Alexander might have been in other people's heads like a waste of money, a waste of time. I'm sure. I bet you could get back on Astros social media, Twitter or whatever you call it, and I'm pretty sure people were probably bashing this guy once we got him. Like, what the hell are we doing? What's going on here? But I mean, at the time, Astros needed what they could take, and this dude has done absolutely everything the Astros need him to do, and beyond more than what we need him to do. So for him, the Astros just to brush him off, I don't think that's going to be so likely for them to do because this dude is obviously producing and performing. So I mean, if it's not broken, don't mess with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's just done a really fantastic job. And like I was saying, I mean, I don't know where the Astros would be without him, just like they were without Brandon Walter. I mean, the way Walter pitched before he had his injury, I mean, he did really everything for the Astros rotation with Hunter Brown and Fernando Valdez being, stellar on the mound during that time. And of course, here comes Brandon Walter throwing really six scoreless innings, seven scoreless innings, maybe six with a run. And I mean, same thing right here with Jason Alexander. Right now, Framber Valdez has been struggling on the mound, and kind of like Alexander has had. And if I'm not mistaken, Space City Home Network had this stat. I don't have it on me, but they had a stat compared with him and Hunter Brown really taking over this month of August. And
Hmm.
actually, let me just go to that right now. I was on Baseball Savant just recently, but let me go his splits in the month of August because I mean it looks really good. Like I said, three straight quality starts prior to this. And if you go to the month of August, Alexander 3-0 with a 154 ERA. He's only allowed four earned runs and four starts and an opponent batting average of 176. Those
Dude's
are
a stud
numbers that I
muffin.
I, I wouldn't have believed from a guy that was DFA'd, a guy that was released. I wouldn't have thought of a player that, especially coming from the bullpen, starting for the Houston Astros. And honestly, these numbers right here have the potential to become a American Player of the Month. He has one more start. I will say either the Rockies or the Angels this week to solidify himself to try to make a run for the American League Pitcher of the Month.
How foolish do you feel to be in the athletics organization knowing that you let this guy go when he could have been contributing to your team, especially how they traded I believe JP Sears and Mason Miller and stuff like
Mhm.
that. So I mean, you kind of lose some pitching right there. So that's a tough one for them. But this is a guy that, Brandon Walter, Colton Gordon, Jason Alexander, these are names that eventually are going to be forgot about. And then you're going to be on media and you're going to see who's that one forgotten Astro that was a key clutch person or, ate up or did something. And I always see threads like that, either whether it's basketball players, whether it's football players, any athlete, they bring up and like who's somebody that was forgotten, who's somebody that never got their flowers, or who's somebody that did this and that. And this is going to be those guys that definitely are going to be forgotten about in Astros history.
Yeah, this is a guy that you could put on your immaculate grid, athletics,
Yeah,
Astro.
definitely.
But I mean, he's only had one bad start with Houston. And let me see, let me him forward to he's had seven starts in an Astros uniform. There's only been one bad start, and it was against not only the Oakland
Yeah,
or
yeah,
Sacramento
I was about
Athletics.
to say, yeah, second was against
And
Athletics
it's
too.
crazy because he went 6 innings in that one. Six
Yeah,
innings, but I mean the stat line wasn't pretty. 11 hits, 5 earned runs, two walks, three strikeouts. But other than that, everything's been zero or two earned runs, and he starts. So he's done a really fantastic job for a rotation that's been, pretty much injured throughout this whole season with Ronel Blanco, Hayden Wisniewski, Brandon Walter would fall, Framber Valdez, who's been struggling recently. Of course, Hunter Brown's been really almost more likely the only consistent pitcher in the starting rotation so far. But the way Alexander has been pitching, man, it's going to be tough for Houston. Whenever that decision comes, it's going to be tough to try to put him into a bullpen role because the way, like Stephon said, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And he's just really done a really good job adapting into that starting role for the Astros.
and then it's also tough because you got to think about it. When these guys come back, they're not always gonna like just instantly hit the ground running and do really well. You got to
Agree.
think about it. They're gonna have one, maybe three bad starts. So I mean, because not everybody's gonna come out freaking fire. It's just it happens. It's a thing. You got to try to get your command back. You got to get your composure. Being in a big league stadium, tons of fans, and it's a whole thing. It's a whole process. It's tournament events. It can't just be done instantly. And if you can do it first time like that, then you a cold MF.
And honestly, he is a cold MF right now because the way
Yeah.
he's been playing, man. I mean, it's just like I said, he's been a lifesaver for this rotation so far this year. Like Brandon Walter was, same thing as Jason Alexander. You make a good point. Whenever the times come with these little TikToks and these reels saying one forgotten player for
Yeah,
the Houston Astros,
the
I don't know if
Linsanity,
anybody,
the
I don't know if any,
Linsanity run.
exactly the Linsanity runs. I mean, it's like Yermin Mercedes. You remember him from the Chicago White Sox, that catcher
Yeah,
that was just hitting bomb after bomb. So
it was a
it
dog.
could be the same thing with him being a pitcher. But I mean, he's just done a really fantastic job. And who helped him out really in that game was the offense. And Christian Walker started off with a 2-run homer, Carlos Correa 2-run single, Jesus Sanchez 5-for-5 game, of course. Second one in his career, if I'm not mistaken, RBI single, and Yiner Diaz with the little cherry on top. Good to see Yiner have a Yiner bomb. I think in the Mr. Splash zone, if I'm not mistaken, in
Yeah, it
left
was. It
field.
was
So
402, no doubter to left. His
yeah,
18th of the year, 200th career RBI.
yeah, so shout out to Yiner, 2-run homer. And the Astros would win that 7-2 game. But Stebby, I mean, I know you got game two, game three. So lead us into charge with that one.
Okay, we'll move on here to game two. The Astros were victorious 10-7. On the mound, you had Lance McCullers Jr. He went 4 innings pitched, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 5 walks, 4 Ks, 87 pitches, 50 strikes. Not the best start for Lance, but it's just, the more that anytime he could be out there and he could be at least a little bit consistent, less earned runs. This is all you need from Lance. You don't need him to be Mr. Perfect, because then Mr. Perfect is going to get you injured. Mr. Perfect is going to get you not just injured bodily wise, but I'm talking about, with runs or walking batters and stuff. Because, he's a guy that's throwing a lot of swing and miss, though. A lot of stuff that's junk, basically. So for him, you kind of got to remember, challenge the batter. Also, get him a chance. Don't be trying to get in a full count and start throwing a bunch of breaking balls. Sometimes, like we said last time, you got to be competitive, make competitive pitch. Either he's going to earn it or he's going to ground out or swing and miss.
Yeah, them 5 walks do hurt. I mean, I believe that's not his first time having more than, I think the
But he
last
did,
start
but he did get out of a bases loaded little stint in the
he
beginning
did.
of the game, which
Correct.
I give him props for that. He seemed very ecstatic for that one. I'm pretty sure that one helped him feel really better.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I think he had another start coming off his IO, of course. I
Mhm.
think this is his first start ever
Yeah,
since
off the blister.
with this blister. Yeah, but there was, I mean, the the walks have been somewhat
A little
high. I mean, there's
atrocious.
been three in the month of June. He had 2-4. He had 2 starts. He had 4 walks in. So I mean, this is something different that I've seen Lance McCullers Jr. do. I mean, the consistency of, you know, locating his pitches, it hasn't just been the same. Of course, you have hitters too, looking at the scouting report, knowing that this guy throws a lot of off-speed stuff, sweepers, of course, his curveball. And when it's on point, it's on point. But when you don't have it and your command's kind of everywhere, and you make a good point. When pitchers try to be too perfectionist with their pitches, it can go either good and it can either go down south. And like for Spencer Arrighetti, we can talk about that one later for him. And we've seen it numerous times in his starts. When you try to pitch perfect, Framber Valdez is another guy too. When you try to do as much as you can and throw that location that where you want, where the catcher wants it, it doesn't go right there and then. It just literally floats over the middle part of the plate and usually get into some trouble.
I mean, you got to think about it. Pitching is damn hard because
It is.
not anybody could go out there and pinpoint a ball. And you could try your hardest to pinpoint a ball, and you're not most of the time going to get it 100% of the time. Like, I promise you, you could be like, "Oh, hit me in the chest." It's not going to be in the chest. You know what I mean? It
Yeah,
just,
because you think of it too, and it's like,
yeah.
okay,
And
like
it's
if they
also
tell me
body
like
mechanics. So much motion. You're not just going like this. You're rocking, you're turning, you're in the motions.
mhm. I agree because whenever it's just like, even in human error right now, like it's like when somebody tells you don't think of a pink elephant, bam, just right there, somebody
Yeah,
thinks of a
things
pink
are big
elephant.
elephant.
So
Yeah,
yeah, so it's like the same thing with pitchers. When catchers want it in a certain spot, then some pitches really go well, or some pitchers get into their heads like, damn, I got to make this spot right here in this location. That could have happened to Caleb Boring, that bases loaded
for
extra
sure.
inning game against the Tigers. I mean, he needed to
Yeah.
locate a pitch and it just got the best of him in that one.
But let's move on here with the offense on game two. Chas McCormick sack bunt and throwing error will score Cam Smith, who has been in a slump as of recent. Jeremy Pena, 3-run homer. That's something really, really good because, I mean, back then, when JP came up, everybody, whenever he just couldn't hit home runs, everybody's like, "Well, what's all those muscles for?" And then now those muscles are starting to show. The mechanics get changed a little bit, swing becomes a little bit better, and now that power is coming off the ball really good, and the swing pass is way better. That's what's leading to his success as a recent. And then Victor Caratini with a 2-out, 2-run double. Caratini is just a guy that, like we said, you don't play him, he's gonna be cold. What do you expect? But once you get that guy in the lineup more often, that dude's gonna be on fire. He's gonna produce, and he's just a clutch hitter. This is just somebody the Astros just, you can't let him get cold because, whenever you're gonna try to call on him in some more interesting times down the line as the season keeps winding down, he might not be able to show out. So this is a guy you want to, leave on the plate, leave him warm. Also as well, Pena 2-out, RBI double. Pena was just lights out this game. Honestly, the whole Astros lineup was just really amazing, especially Christian Walker. He just seemed to feel really comfortable at Camden Yards.
My God, three straight consecutive games with a home run. I mean, I know Stebby's about to get game three here in a second, but the way he's been hitting has been really good for Houston. Of course, a lot of Astro fans, a lot of Astros on social media have been giving him shit. And we told y'all, I mean, slow start. I mean, two, he was hitting them to everybody, like literally hitting them line drives to the position players in the infield and the outfield, or the outfielders would track it down, even though it was a line drive. I mean, he's hitting it really hard. Exit velocity is there too. Of course, there's the downs of him striking out a lot, but hey, we told you. I think his last season he had 84 RBIs, and right now he's not far from catching up to that.
He's
So
already at 70 RBIs already, I
yeah,
believe.
he's at over 70 RBIs, and we told you, and I
70,
said
yeah, 72 RBIs, 112 hits, 237 average with 19 home runs, 21 doubles. So that might be really high for him on his career. I need to check what his doubles are.
yeah, I mean he's been an extra base hit machine. This is good for if you're a Nationals fan too, because this is a guy that you really need clutch when it gets closer to the postseason. Because of course you have Jordan Alvarez is coming back, but like Steban made a good point. When these guys return from injury, they're not just going to be hot. You saw that with Christian Javier. You've seen it with Lance McCullers Jr. We'll wait to see with Luis Garcia and JP France what they look like. But when they come back from injury, and especially Jordan Alvarez, he hasn't played a major league game since May. So having him, getting the field thing in this next coming month in September, of course, Christian Walker, if he continues to rake the way he's been doing, then I mean, this is just a really good time if you're a Houston Nationals fan, especially the way that Correa has been playing since returning to a Nationals uniform. You put the big man back in the order, and then you got Christian Walker, who's been hitting the ball really hard.
Yeah, and then man, did you speak about this team? This left side of the infield is just absolutely phenomenal, especially Carlos Correa. Never playing third in his life. I mean, obviously, it's nothing too crazy because, like, okay, he's already an infielder, but still, like, anybody in baseball, superstitious, and some people just can't get used to it. And especially the hot corner, you're way closer. Balls come at you a little harder. So the way that he keeps his composure and just pretty much a wall there, he's so big and tall that all he does is just lay out, dive out, and the ball's in the glove. The ball stop, and he's just nonchalant, and then the arm just makes up for everything.
Yeah. I think that's what Astro fans really miss with Correa was, besides the leadership and all that, we can go with that and we could continue talking all that all day, all night. But his arm is just one of the best in baseball. When it's healthy, when he's healthy specifically, I mean, that arm is just dangerous. Looking at 90 plus
If
across the
if I'm
diamond.
being if I'm being honest, the only ever other arm that I really actually liked as a me whenever I started watching baseball was Andrelton Simmons. Whenever the Braves had him, that dude's arm was nasty, and I used to love like he would just dive and like he'll like split up his knees real quick and just get the ball to first. Like I don't know, he made it look freakish. It was cool.
Well, you got also guys right now currently
Mason Wynn,
Major League. Yeah, Mason wins one. Ellie De La Cruz is another that can just throw like
like
a
Hunnit, O'Neal
baseball.
Cruz as well.
Exactly. O'Neal Cruz, who's an outfielder now.
But honestly, that Ronald Acuna throw, bro, that had to be one of the best ones in history because he literally only took one step. Like, all these other crazy throws,
Mhm.
like people usually get behind him and he just like turns and
And he turned with his. He didn't even
yeah,
have like a
actual
playing behind the
gather
ball.
step. Yeah, that he couldn't really gather himself. But we're not talking about that. Anyways, Carlos Correa in 21 games since being acquired by Houston Astros, posting a 349 batting average, three doubles, three home runs, 12 RBIs, 1.1 WAR, and 149 OPS plus.
Yeah, the Carlos Correa returning in the Nationals uniform is It's really helped. I say the defense be a strength continuously. With losing Isak Paredes, but then the bat too. I mean, Houston, what their objective was going into the deadline was some offense and getting Correa. And a lot of people were very skeptical about it. And I mean, yeah, you could be skeptical because of the injury
What
history. He wasn't hitting really well in Minnesota either, but new environment, of course, an environment that he's really used to playing in front of for the past 7 years when he was with the Astros. I mean, he just felt like he was back at home, and sure enough, man, he's just been raking ever since returning to Houston.
Yeah, I know with Carlos, he only has 10 home runs this season, but you don't really want Carlos here for a home run hitter. I mean, Carlos is just a really good clutch hitter overall, and the home runs are going to come obviously in key moments. But I mean, this guy is just on it right now, and you could. I feel like he could have really, really good rest of the season stats to end this season, especially up into those playoff time. This guy's going to be a real contributor to this team.
Yeah, we'll talk about more with him on overall thoughts because I mean we got a little bit more detail information on him, the way he's been hitting ever since coming back.
Let's move on to game three. The Houston Astros were victorious again, also taking away three of the four against Baltimore. So you got Christian Javier in the game three 9-8 win. Javier, 2 innings pitched, 3 hits, 5 runs, 3 earned runs, 4 walks, 3 Ks, 65 pitches, and 39 strikes. Threw 31 pitches in his first outing in the first inning. I'm sorry, and only got 6 outs with a 5-0 lead. This is one that we need to talk about because I mean, obviously, like we said, some pitchers are going to need 1 or 3 starts. But as I was watching this game as well, the commentators were kind of pointing out that in certain situations, it seemed like Javier was not trusting in his fastball, and whenever he would throw a fastball and say full counts or a count that he had really had to land a strike, I mean he was kind of defensive. He had nothing to do. The ball was just getting put in play, getting hit pretty hard, and it's just. I think matter of fact for right now, these Javier starts, you shouldn't really be too lenient on him because you got to think about it. He's coming back off the IO. He needs to figure himself out, and the league is always transitioning and moving, and it's moving fast with all this technology and ABS systems and just spin rates. Everything you're able to see is just it's kind of hard. You got to be on your A game. I mean, NBA doesn't have stuff like that. I really don't know any other sport that really gets down to the wire on every little mechanic, every little detail. So I mean, you got to think about it. These guys are freaking practically robots out there.
Yeah, I'm looking at his pitching velocity in this one, and really averaged about 93, 94
Yeah,
in this
not,
start. But I
same
mean,
same as
with
same as they're getting. They're
yeah,
about the same.
and the thing is with Javier, I mean, he has a lot of swing miss, and you can say the same thing for Irrigetti. I mean, for Javier, I mean, that fastball, it's a rising fastball. And hitters in 22, 23, I mean, they've had trouble hitting his four seamer. And that one was his best pitch, I would say, in his arsenal besides his sweeper. That pitch has been deadly for, when it comes to batters in the batter's box. So yeah, for Javier not trusting his fastball, that was very shocking uh to see on that. But Christian Javier, I mean, he did have some good swing and miss. He had 11 swing and misses in this start, but I just didn't think it was just going to be 2 innings. That was the shocking part for me more than anything. I mean, there was an error that happened, 5 runs, 3 earned on Javi's stat. Of course, the walks too. We always preach this: walks do hurt, and they make into runs. And it was just one of them starts that it just didn't go well for him. And for Javi, that he just has to scratch this one out and get ready for. More than likely, he'll probably pitch against either the series finale of the Rockies or the opener for the Angels.
And then also, I wanted to mention somebody else as well that kind of helped contribute towards this victorious win for the Astros. Was able to have 4 innings pitched, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 4 Ks. AJ Blue Ball. He piggybacked off of Javier once Javier was pulled out from the game. 64 pitches, 40 strikes. I believe he had about 30. I'm not sure what it was. 8 whiffs, I believe. And he averaged 90.5 on his exit velocity off of him, which is another guy that's been doing pretty well for the Astros as they bring up and send them back down whenever they need him. But this is somebody that's going to be the future of the Astros as long as you know stuff doesn't hit the fan again, and then Astros going to need to, trade people off again next season. But this guy's going to be somebody you're going to hear on the radio or see on your household TVs in the near future.
I say for Houston, they should potentially look into leaving him in a middle relief role in this bullpen because
Yeah, I mean, he looked really
he's
well, like
pitched. He's
unbothered.
pitched. Yeah, he's pitched in 3 games so far this year, and he's done really good in all 3. The first start was a little rough for him, but that was his first. I mean, that's his MLB debut. What do you expect him to go like scoreless like Jacob Mizorowski from the Brewers? He don't have all that 99, 98 like Chase
Yeah,
Burns too. I mean, he don't have that velocity. He could get up there though. That kid has some velocity on him. And
what are you talking about, Chase?
no, AJ. AJ
Oh
has
yeah,
I think he topped out either 96 or 99, if I'm not mistaken, in one of those in the Marlins start. But this is my point of the Astros needing a middle relief guy in their bullpen that can throw extra innings because you do not know when the starters are going to be. And this was a good example right here in this start with Javier. Javier just didn't have his stuff, only threw 2 innings. I mean, who are you going to go? You can't really make it into a bullpen game because you still got Sunday's contest and Saturday too. Not to mention it was more of a bullpen game too after McCullers got out in the 4th inning. So think about that. The Astros did need somebody to step up, and Blue Ball was able to answer the call. And this is my point: either you put France in that middle relief role, you put Luis Garcia back there. I do not mind AJ Blue Ball so far. I mean, this is his first time pitching out of the bullpen in this type of situation, but in the starter too, he's looked really good. And I don't know if his mentality coming from the bullpen is a starter, but whatever he's doing, I mean, he's just done a really good job so far.
yeah. And then the kid has 4 seam, sweeper, changeup, curve, and a cutter, and he's only throwing the cutter 2%. That would be something that I would personally probably be interested if maybe he could develop more because right now, as it is, like you look at a lot of these really dominant pitchers around the league, and it seems like a lot of them have those really nasty cutters on them.
Yeah, I'm looking at Blue Ball 95, 97, 96, 94s, 95. I mean, there's a lot of 90s on here. Like you said, that cutter is really nice. But the velocity is there with this guy. And if Houston could give him a little bit more time in that bullpen role,
Mhm.
at least the middle relief, I wouldn't mind having him throughout the rest of the season. Remember, the Astros will get 2. I mean, this is just for everybody in Major League Baseball. 2 roster spots expand in the month of September. I forgot what day, but they do get 2 additional roster spots. This is not just for the Astros;
For the
it's
league.
for everybody else throughout the league. So that could be an interesting one. Another one to me that makes total sense would be maybe bringing in Cesar Salazar for 3 catcher mix just in case Victor Caratini needs to come into a game situation. And like you had mentioned, I mean, we're going to talk about him later on overall thoughts, but it would make sense to carry another catcher. But at this moment, what looks like for the Astros, what they need right now is really bullpen help.
Yeah, and I'd rather see AJ over Sean Dubin, in my opinion.
Sean Dubin, just to add on to that, was designated for assignment. Just give you a heads up on that if you did not know that.
Oh, that's something good to know. But anyways, let's go on to the offense of this game right here. Carlos Correa, 2-run homer. Sanchez follows with a tank. He literally that ball was smoked. Right now, I'll
Smoke.
put it up. I'll put up the stats right now. What it was. Victor Caratini joins the party with a 2-run shot as well. Like I said, somebody that you plug in, he's gonna keep heating up. And
Hmm.
Altuve puts pressure on the defense by scoring from third. And then one thing too, heads up by Sanchez because Altuve scores on the bad throw, and
Yeah.
right behind him, Jesus Sanchez is creeping up, and the way he broke from second, I was like, oh, he's just gonna chill at third, and all of a sudden, I'm like, he goes past the stop sign, and he aggressively sends it down the third base line, and he slides in perfectly, and that's honestly really good. Something that you would like to see out there. That's what's gonna win you ball games. You need heads up. I mean, they get the score 9-8. Had he not been as aggressive, maybe they would have gone extras and Astros maybe wouldn't have been victorious. So good heads up baseball right there. Good IQ from him. And then to top it off, icing with the cake, Walker, man, another 2-run home run.
Yeah, I mean, this offense was smashing. Like I said, the bullpen kind of felt a little bit off. I believe Brian King gave up a home run or an earned run. I know an earned run for sure, but I'm not sure if it was a home run. Um, but yeah, the bullpen right now it looks a little fatigued. We have a Nationals injury update too. That's crucial part of that bullpen that will be on the IL.
Yeah, it was Brian King gave up a 1-run single.
RBI single.
Yeah, RBI single.
Yeah, so I mean, this bullpen, if you really think about it, Brian King too is just this is his first full season in the bullpen. And De Los Santos fairly new too, getting off waivers. Now they added Craig Kimbrell, new to the bullpen. The only one that's I would say is a veteran that's been there for the Astros has been Brian Abreu, besides Josh Hader being on the IL, but Abreu too has been the one that's been there and taking advantage of that closing role, I would say too, in these close game situations, especially in a 9-8 game.
Yeah, and I forgot to mention that this home run, 429 feet, no doubt to the right, by Jesus Sanchez was his first as a Houston Astro, 111 miles per hour off the bat, which was his 11th home run this season, and it broke a 66 at bat home run drought.
Yeah, and usually Houston went after this guy for his power. And I mean, we've talked about it on this show. His bat speed's unbelievable. If you go look at his baseball savant page, I mean, that's the number one thing that you will see in the highest percentile. And we see the contact that's been presented in the Houston Astros uniform since been acquired by the Astros, but we have yet to see that power. Now we finally got to see it. He's had been having some extra base hits being doubles, but now we got to see the long ball go out there. And like Steban said, that was a no doubter by him hitting one into Camden Yards.
Yeah, and then tip of the cap too for the lineup, going out there and taking care of somebody that took care of the Astros last time he faced them, Dean Creamer.
Yeah, and this is why I said, I mean, they did a really good job adjusting to these pitchers. Dean Kramer had, believe, he pitched a scoreless outing at Dyken Park. I don't think he gave up a run, but a scoreless outing. Brandon Young had almost a perfect game against the Astros, and the Astros did an amazing job countering against them, adjusting to them, doing their homework and see what worked best for them and what didn't work best. And sure enough, I mean, they put the pressure on Baltimore throughout this whole series. But game four, I mean, it was a different outcome. Of course, the Astros were having 3 games straight, and you were looking into you might as well take over the other one, the series finale, and go for the sweep. But it just didn't go for Houston that plan. But a good start for Spencer Arrighetti, well needed start for him because he's been struggling ever since returning from the IL. 5 2/3, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts. Only 97 pitches were thrown, 60 of them, 67 of them were strikes. And this is the concerning part for me. Still, maybe it's just like for right now, he's still getting back in the groove of things, but only 3 whips. And this guy is a pitcher that usually generates a lot of swing and misses, a lot of whiffs from the opponents. And just this season, I mean, at least in these couple starts here, the whiffs have been single digits. And his fastball, like Steban said, I mean, it's a really good fastball that can usually give hitters out. And the same thing with his off speed mix. His slider and his curveball is really good too. So only 3 whiffs. That's
Yeah,
very shocking to me.
you can see he was a little bit bothered by that this game because I believe Spence didn't pick up his first K until the 4th inning.
Yeah.
But after a while, he retired 15 in a row to the bottom of the 6th till Gunner broke that. But that's something that you're very familiar with Spencer. Once beginning of the games, so he gets a little roughed up maybe in the beginning, and then the guy cruises up until about the 5th, 6th inning. Usually, whenever he's good and stuff like that, it usually happens. So it's a good sign for Spence. Besides not being able to pick up a lot of whiffs, he did his job, in my opinion.
Yeah, he did a good job in this outing. And like I said, this was a bounce back for him because his prior start wasn't really good. He's only
And
had
then,
two
and then
part.
had the offense produced like they produced all series, then this might have been a win for Spence.
Yeah, honestly, it could have been if the offense was there. But like I said, this was his second best start ever since return from the IL. And like Steban said, the offense didn't really help this game. Caratini only had the sack fly RBI. Runners in scoring position didn't look too good for Houston. 3 for 11, 8 men left on base. So yeah, I mean, it's one of those games that you wish you could have back, but then, like I had mentioned in the beginning of the show, and it's just a tip of cap to the pitcher on the other side. And Trevor Rogers, I mean, doing a fabulous job. I think he's on a streak right now that's only given up 2 runs or less in 6 straight starts. So when you're going against a pitcher like that, I mean, pitching really good with a bunch of off speed mix and a good fastball, I mean, it's going to be very tough for you get some type of hits. And sure enough, it was like that for this game.
Yeah, Trevor Rogers is a stud. There's nothing you can do about it. And honestly, people aren't even figuring him out because he was on another like small fan base team, which was Miami. So now that he gets to a bigger team, people start to figure out more and more of these players. Man, another little funny one that I seen the Reds calling that one guy of that big chubby guy. They call him Big Sugar or something like that.
I saw something like that too.
That was pretty funny. But he was throwing heat. I think he was topping out like 100 on 101 or something like that.
Oh man, Big Sugar throwing a hundo.
Big
I
Sugar.
never would have thought about that, but yeah, I mean, Trevor Rogers was in that trade. It was that 1-1 trade for Kyle Stowers, and I think both teams really liked the trade because over there in Miami, you got a three-headed monster. Sandy Alcantara can continue if he could get back to his ace form. You have Yuri Perez and Edward Cabrera, and right here, like I said, this is a good start for Baltimore to look into possibly giving an extension to in Rogers because Eflin's on IL, and with him, he's probably gonna be a free agent next season. I'm not sure about Dean Kramer, Povich, but this would be a good start for the Orioles to extend a guy and solidify as quote unquote ace of their rotation. Finishing it off real quick, overall thoughts, and we've been preaching this the whole show. Astros adjusted offensively and pitching. Eric Getty and Alexander did a really good job. Of course, Javier and McCullers. I think this is Javier's third start coming from injury. McCullers is first start coming from that blister. So it's not an excuse, but hey, they're just coming back. Hopefully, if you're an Astros fan, you're hoping for a good outcome in their next coming starts. But Eric Getty, well needed. Jason Alexander pitching like a Cy Young Justin Verlander, who was in an Astros uniform before, out there on the mound. So very good job on the Astros offense too. Like we had mentioned, Dean Kramer, um, Brandon Young throwing almost a perfect game at Dyken Park. Kramer had a scoreless outing against the Astros at Dyken Park too. And sure enough, the Astros did their job, did their homework, look at some footage, and was able to get Young out of the game quickly and put some runs against them two starting pitchers.
Yeah,
Real
one thing
quick,
I
go
wanted to
ahead.
bring up too as well. Christian Walker, 42 RBIs with 2 outs, most in the AL, and second in all of baseball, I believe, behind Kyle Schwarber, 53 RBIs
Yeah,
with
Christian
two
Walker's
outs.
done a really good job. And that we can just go on to the next one because the bats woke up in this series, and Christian Walker was one of the guys that headlined that 6 for 18, 3 home runs, 7 RBIs, 16 total bases, which is phenomenal. Good base running. I don't know if you saw one of those plays, and it was a close call at second base, bang bang play, but the umpire called him safe. Go to New York for replay review, and they called him safe. But I believe Gunner had to make a play on in the hole in behind third base.
Mhm.
Made a smooth play, smooth backhand. Got up real quick, tried to throw it a second. But like I said, good base running on Christian Walker, being able to get a bigger lead than usual because you have a runner on second. So obviously you're not going to worry about the guy at first. But Walker having that lead, being able to hustle it out at second, making him safe, put the pressure, was able to get an RBI sac fly in that game. And the defense as well, not to mention he is a gold glover. He made a good play down the first base line. So him doing his defensive remarks just continue to do good. And Stepan, like he had said earlier on the show, 72 RBIs, 708 OPS after this series. So, like I said, 84 RBIs. That you got to take the over on that because he's doing it so far right now.
Yeah, he's definitely going to get there. I think he was earlier when I brought it up, he was at 30 something on the doubles for his career. So he's already creeping in on that. So I feel like if he stays on fire like this, I mean, he might match or even take over his career high on doubles for Walker.
Yeah, this it feels like too. Like he's been, it really hasn't been a sleeping season for him. Like just not seen
Yeah.
because the Astros fans have seen him hit the ball hard. Of course, a lot of controversy throughout the whole time of where that he should be hitting in the lineup after striking out so much. But of course, we've talked about his strikeout rate. It's high in every season, and this is going to be a career high if he doesn't fix 2019 his career high of having so many strikeouts, 155. Right now, he is at 139. He already passed last season with 133, but I mean, he's making up for it with the RBI production, The OPS, of course, is not in the 800s like it was last season, but it's still a good average OPS with 708. And of course, he's not done. We still got a month of baseball left. Maybe that can go up. And of course, like we said, the RBIs, them things are going to go up. Hey, maybe he can get to 90. Maybe he could get to. I'm looking. What's the next one? 103 is his career high. 84 was last season. In 2022, it was 94. So you can possibly see that the home run numbers. For sure, he'll have 20 plus, but maybe 25. Maybe 25. I think he ends.
Yeah, he's just gonna keep heating up. This is his first year as an Astro. Next year, I believe he'll do even better. He had to settle in, get comfortable with the new city, new team, all new faces, and everybody's doing well. But I do want to bring up somebody who is leading the majors in something, but maybe something they would not like to be proud of. Yainer Diaz leads majors with the chase percentage.
Well, deep chase.
Chase percentage. He leads
Yeah, I
majors in
believe that.
chase percentage.
I believe that. And a lot of Astros fans are very frustrated the fact that his at bats are just it's either a hit or it's a miss. A majority of the time, it's more likely a miss.
Mhm.
And like you said, and you just proved right there with the research of the chase rate being the highest, and you've seen it. If you throw him a high rising fastball, he's chasing it. You throw him a sweeper slider away to the outside part of the plate, he's chasing it. So some of these like I said, some of these at bats are really good for Yiner, but majority of the ones, and I'm not saying he's an impatient hitter, but he does like to attack that first pitch. And we already know who does that most in a Nationals uniform, being Jose Altuve. But Jose Altuve is Jose Altuve. Yainer Diaz is Yainer Diaz. And last season, you saw the chase rate. I would love for him to go back to last season because I mean he was an average hitter. He hit over 300. And I mean, of course, the strikeouts were very high too. I'm very curious, and just to mention too, Christian Walker slugging over 500 so far this month in August, and it's the highest it's been this season. So that is a positive sign to see. Like I had mentioned, the extra base hits, like step on step with the doubles, the home runs are coming, the RBIs are coming. But shockingly, what I'm going to tell you right now, Steban, last 7 games hitting 333, last 15, 271, last 30, 301. So
He's on the tear.
yeah, it's very frustrating seeing him being like that, but he's averaging right now. The average is 257, 18 home runs, 55 RBIs, 707
It's
OPS.
I feel like he knows he's doing okay, but he wants to do great
Yeah,
because he knows he's a big household name. Whenever he was in Arizona, you would always hear Walker, Christian Walker, Christian Walker. When you heard of the Diamondbacks, you either heard about Christian Walker, Zach Allen, or Corbin Carroll.
yeah, I agree. I can tell Marte. You can't forget
Yeah, I
him.
mean, yeah, I could tell too. He's very under the radar, but as their big slugger, like it was always Walker.
Agree. Yiner Diaz, real quick, looking at his strikeouts. 81 strikeouts last season. He had 107. Wow, that can potentially he can be just under that this season. And the his rookie year 74 strikeouts. And he's already passed the home run rate with 18
Mm.
this season. Last year was 16. Of course, his rookie season was insane, 23 home runs. I think Astros fans are really looking for that power from him from that year because he only had
I, I
140
think
games
I
under his
think it's
belt.
gonna be something similar to like Pena. He's gonna have to switch his swing path or his mechanics up, and because the power is there, bro. Like the
It
power
is.
is absolutely there. It's just he needs to figure something out that's gonna lead him to stop chasing. Just it's something. It's just the minor things. It's just the thing about a baseball player. You can never stop getting better, and you can never stop working on your craft.
Yeah, for sure he'll have over 20 home runs. But like Steban said, the power when you hear Guiner Diaz, I mean, you're thinking of power. You don't think of contact. Of course, you
Yeah.
do maybe think of strikeouts because he does swing and miss at a lot of stuff, like Steban was saying. But his power is what Houston's really missing in that middle part of the order. You're gonna have Jordan Alvarez coming back, and we'll talk about here in just a sec how that lineup's gonna look. But if Diaz can get back on track, if Walker continues to rake like he's been raking this month, I mean, this team could be scary in the postseason if they make the postseason, which they're leading by 2 games. However, you got the Seattle Mariners on their tail. But anyway, just going back to that part, I mean, if he could get going, kind of cut down on the chasing, I mean, he'll be a different dynamic hitter. Uh, in that perspective. But real quick on the overall thoughts, Jesus Sanchez, a really good bounce back series for him. 7 for 11, two doubles, a home run, like Steban said, an RBI. Carlos Correa, I mean, you heard Steban say it as well. 7 for 17 this series, home run, four RBIs, two walks, great defensive plays in the hot corner. Like Stebby said, I mean, this is a new position that he's playing. Chandler made a good article about it, looking at videos of Nolan Arenado, Matt Chapman, I believe another third baseman too, and he's done a really good job at adjusting and adapting to that new position. And he said it as well. Steban, 1.1 WAR, 149 OPS plus since joining the Houston Astros. So seeing Correa, CC1 back in this uniform has really revived this clubhouse and really revived the whole city.
Yeah, and then the one that is really reviving a lot is somebody that's been kind of quiet, that's been struggling lately, Cam Smith. I mean, I seen the other day that Correa was rocking the thing like an orange and navy blue sleeve, and then the next day you see Cam's out there with the orange and navy blue sleeve.
No, well, not the high socks, but
Yeah, but similar little swagger. I mean, they got similar builds, big body, big units,
it's
strong arms.
almost the same swing path from
Yeah,
rookie year. I mean,
so
we
I mean,
talked about them before.
you kind of clone these guys a little similar. But one thing Correa said that stands out is how mature Smith is. The outfielder has yet to break a bat or throw a helmet after a strikeout, and he never brings the frustrations he might have to the defensive ends of things, proving he can move on to the next play quickly. Cam Smith said, "It's the hardest thing in the world. It feels like, but I'm never going to let them guys know they got me." Also, Smith says, "I know how good I am. It might sound selfish, but I know I'm a great player, and it's tough to see myself not producing for my teammates and my guys behind me. It's just a thing, this guy is straight out of high school, went to college, played one season, I believe, in college, and
Yeah,
then just comes straight to the majors. So I mean, think about it.
probably
This
had a
kid,
couple of games like under his
yeah,
belt in the minor leagues.
yeah, this kid was rushed, and that's what happens when you have high talents. And I mean, better than being a bust. This kid's definitely not a bust. I mean, Astros still have him at the big league level. He was not doing enough or was not performing as well. He would have been back down in AAA, but this is something that you can't really do to such a high talented player like this because it's gonna screw them up mentally. You don't want him to get another case of like maybe like Pedro Leon. Somebody that was highly, they brought him up, struggled, and he gets injured, goes back down, and you just don't want stuff to start happening to people. So just give Cam his time, and he'll be there.
Yeah, and what this coaching staff has is trust and confidence in this kid. And like you were talking about with him having one full season at Florida State, but playing the College World Series really helps out that, mental aspect, of course, the energy and the player just thrives under the spotlight. But two, I mean, only having a couple games under his belt in the minor league level, and then all of a sudden have a big promotion, going to a new team that didn't even draft him,
Mhm.
playing a new position, not to mention with the Houston Astros, and he's done a really good job. Of course, right now, I mean, the slump is there and it's showing. Every rookie is going to go through a slump.
Yeah, imagine how that feels, freaking going from college clubhouse straight to a big franchise, the Cubs. You know what I mean? And then you meet everybody, and I'm sure the way that Cam is wholesome and just real connected to everybody and
His
respectful.
family too. One of his family members, I think it was his grandpa or grandma,
Yeah,
um, enjoyed watching the Cubs. Like he was a big Cubs fan, so it felt like
a
the
little
Cubs was good
home
for him.
hardening. Yeah, and then so this guy, he's a really nice guy. He's obviously real respectable. So you could just imagine how attached he got to coaching and people in that organization. And then as soon as you feel like you're getting comfortable with somebody or you're finding your place, bam, you get shipped off to a whole nother organization, and you got to do all over again. And that's just how baseball is and how baseball goes. But I mean, the kid's taking care of what he has to take care of, and he's handling it really well. Just it's a long baseball season, and what do you expect? Not everybody's going to be great all the time.
Yeah, very very respectful kid too. I mean, talking to him, he's very mature. Um, and he's very open minded and very like educated, very really like he wants to learn how to be better in different aspects of this game, and he has a really good clubhouse to follow with Jose Altuve, with Christian Walker. Now he gets to see with Carlos Correa being in this clubhouse how it's to be. So I think, and I wanted to talk about this too. Let me get this out the way real quick with his offensive numbers so far. Last 7 games, I mean, batting 56, .056. On base percentage 150, only getting one hit out of his 18 at bats, and a buck 40 in his last 15 games, a buck 40 in his last 30 games. He hasn't hit a home run in quite a while. Let me just pull up. When was the last time Cam Smith?
Felt like it's been forever. Definitely
Yeah, has
before the
hit
All
a
Star
home
break.
run. Let's see. June, he had a 2 home run game in June 17. June 28 against the Cubs, he had a home run. That was the last time, I believe, June 28. So yeah, Cam is really due for a homer, but I mean extra base hits 29. The BABIP is 333. So yeah, for Cam, I mean he's just learning in a rookie season. Everything just kind of a snap of a finger and just came up to him like that. So he's still adjusting to the game. And being, for Houston too, being able to have that confidence in this kid, this trust in this kid, and not sending him down to the minor league level, it just shows that this guy is the future for the Astros. And I want to ask you this, and usually I would like to ask Angel too. We've seen rookies like this guy and Cam. Now it's kind of a trend that they're getting extensions. We talk about the
Early.
Red Sox with Campbell. They've already did with Roman
I
Anthony. I
mean, you
won't be
saw Basayo too with
Yes,
the
Javier
Orioles.
Basayo with the Orioles. I won't be surprised if Marcelo Meyer gets some type of contract coming soon. I mean, look at the National League. Mr.
Selene
Rossi can probably be getting
Rafaela.
one soon. I'm surprised Skeens hasn't got one. Shit. But
Yeah, but you know how the
Pittsburgh,
Pirates are. They're
that's
gonna
what I
give
was
him
gonna
to
say.
Houston.
Pittsburgh is Pittsburgh. Chase Burns, he's been pitching phenomenal too. So my question to you, I mean, this
And
kind of
then
puts. Go ahead.
Jack
What do you want?
Jack Callejon as well. Once he comes back from his rehab, you could bet that Royals might want to lock him up too.
Yeah. So now you're seeing this trend of franchises real quickly getting into extension talks with these rookies. And we saw that with the James Click era of Jordan Alvarez. He made his debut in 2019, I believe. And if I'm not mistaken, he signed a contract extension with the Astros either I want to say in 21. So
Mhm.
just 2 years after that, and then it was like a 6 year a deal. But anyway, back on topic. I mean, do you possibly see maybe the Astros looking into possibly locking this guy down? And because think about it too, Dana has came from a franchise in Atlanta who's done that numerous times with Acuna, Albies, Austin Riley. So I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
wouldn't be a bad idea, right?
it'd be a smart thing to do in my opinion because the kid's a rookie, still has a lot to prove, still has a lot to grow, and he has plenty of longevity. He looks healthy. He looks like he's going to be a healthy player. He looks like he's not going to be injury prone. So it's just a guy that his potential is there. I mean, you've seen the flashes, multi-homer games, the power, the arm. I mean, to be able to transition from infield to outfield alone like that in his first year as a big leaguer, and not necessarily making any errors out there either. And so, I mean, this guy's a good impact when he's out there. So just, just got to believe that if the Astros believe in this kid, shoot, go right ahead and pay for him, because if not, you don't want to end up in a situation like where Kyle Tucker, we couldn't keep him, or Alex Bregman, we weren't able to keep him. This is some like again, like this is a really guy you would like to keep around because just because of how respectful and how much love he has for the game and the organizations.
Yeah, and you've already seen Houston. I wouldn't say they're already lost out in the Hunter Brown extension talk and the Jeremy
Pena.
Pena extension talk. So I'm not going to say they're out on that. I mean, pretty sure there's
But think,
still
but think about it. If the
competition.
Astros were able to extend Pena whenever he was struggling a little bit, I mean, see, it would have helped them. But then again, it goes with how they probably felt about Pena whenever they knew he started hot and then he had the slump and everything. They're probably okay. See how he works out through the third year, and then so forth. And then now it's starting to pay. It's gonna bite them in the ass.
Yeah, for the extension talks, I mean, specifically, them two guys come up to mind. Isak Paredes too could look good in an extension with the Houston Astros. He really had a good season until that injury.
Yeah,
And
most
if
definitely,
if
dude.
Paredes
He
was
probably
on
would
this
have had one of
team,
his best seasons.
yes, exactly. And Paredes too on this team, I'm pretty sure Carlos Correa would not be on this team right now if Paredes was healthy.
Oh yeah,
But
most definitely. Not. I think
but
Astros probably definitely would have came home with a pitcher.
yeah, exactly. So Paredes could be another name that look out to in an extension talk. And like I mentioned, I think they should kick the can and look into possibly reaching out to Cam Smith's agent and look into trying to figure out a contract extension. Of course, it's not going to be over 180, 120, 150. I mean, it could look in that range, 120, 150, but it's not going to be like 180. It's not going to be 200
I'm
because
thinking I'm thinking 80 to 100.
yeah, because think about it too. Astros do not believe in 155 and
Yeah, they
plus
don't splurge
contract.
on kids. Yeah,
But with him, I mean,
the one that they did splurge on that surprises was Neans.
Nate,
Whenever
yeah,
they,
I think he's going to be that power man.
yeah, I mean that kid looks solid, bro. I can't wait to see what his potential will be sooner or later.
So yeah, maybe think about that, Houston, because of course he's an infielder, a middle infielder specifically. So
Mhm.
if the Astros don't feel very comfortable with giving extension talk to Pena, and Pena wants to try out with free agency because
Then you
of
give it a Hunter and you go for Cam maybe.
yeah, so I mean it could look like that. Of course, there's an off season for them topics to come, and I wouldn't be surprised Houston. And like I said, I would not be surprised if Houston will have an extension done this season. I don't know by who.
And
I don't
and
know
we're
what
gonna
player.
need shortstop for sure because I mean Correa's not gonna want to go back to short possibly, and then
Oh,
I
he's
mean
already comfortable at third. You already heard
yeah,
him.
that's what
He
I'm
said
saying.
this
Yeah,
season
he's
his
not
career is
gonna want to
already
go
done with
back to
short.
short. So shortstop, you got to think about it. Who you gonna trust him? Who you gonna bring up? You got Shea Wickham and who else that could play short?
Bryce Matthews was a
Bryce
shortstop in
Matthews as well.
Nebraska.
But I mean, still, you got to think about it. These guys are young. You need a veteran.
Yeah, love when it comes to offseason talk because I
It's
like
not
I mentioned
speculations.
speculations, but I do think the Astros will get an extension done. I just don't know with who, but they will get an extension done this offseason because they didn't do that last season. In 22, they did with Christian Javier. That was the last extension. If I could just think at the top of my head, I think that's the last extension the Astros had. I wouldn't even count the Jose Altuve one
Mhm.
because I believe Jose Altuve was going to be in a Nationals
Yeah,
uniform
for
for
sure,
most of
most
his career.
definitely.
So I think the last one you could say would be Christian Javier. So if you're Dana Brown, I mean that's a good, interesting thing to look at this offseason. You look at your young roster that's coming up and see who can be possibly extended um, this coming
Sooner.
year.
Yeah, but let's go ahead and fly through real quick this Rockies pitching preview real quick that starts tomorrow. Tuesday at 7:10 start Tanner Gordon versus Hunter Brown. I don't even sound like a real name, Tanner Gordon.
Tanner
But
Gordon.
anyways, Brown was posting a 10-5, 236 ERA versus Detroit. He had 6 innings pitched, 5 hits, 0 earned runs, 3 walks, 7 Ks. Hunter Brown at home, 242 ERA with a .182 opponent batting average, .299 slugging, a 1.44 ERA in August after a 5.54 in July. Gordon posting a 4-5 record with a 7.11 ERA, 7-Eleven, like the gas station, versus LA Dodgers. He went 6 innings pitched, only allowed 4 hits and 1 earned run. So I mean, 1 walk and 3 Ks. So you're talking about the Dodgers. This guy Dodgers allowed this kid to go 6 innings. Well, not kid. I don't know if he's a kid or not, but Dodgers allowed this guy to go 6 innings. I mean, you know what I mean? Don't be surprised. It's a Dodgers lineup, Astros lineup, two different animals, but still two scary lineups. 3 pitch mix, fastball, slider, changeup. On the road so far is 12.1 innings pitched, a 13.14 ERA, and a .419 opponent batting average. So this guy's a home dog. He's a homebody. He's a homebody for sure.
Which I wouldn't even think he would want to pitch at course because that's more of a
The
hitter's ballpark.
elevation.
Yeah,
But the ball doesn't
exactly.
even break. I mean, the ball doesn't break as much. A lot of pitchers say that they lose spin rate or you know what I mean? Stuff like that.
Mhm. Yeah, for Brown, I mean, he's just making a case for a Cy Young bid. I know one of the matchups, the Tigers are going to be playing the Red Sox this coming. I think they already played today, but this
And right now they have Scooble leading, and then right behind him they have Crochet for AO. And
actually
Hunter.
take that back. They played the Orioles today, so
Uh,
I think that's the next series they'll be playing the Tigers, and one of those matchups is going to be Scooble versus Crochet.
Scooble went today versus the Athletics, who Shea Langoliers hit a grand slam like 6 minutes ago. But I don't know who that was off of.
Ooh.
I don't think it was off. Oh, it was off of Scooble.
So that hurts his
He hit the
ERA.
grand slam off of Scooble. So I mean that's a good sign for us.
It's a good sign for Hunter Brown because he's still in the mix for Cy Young
I
candidacy.
don't think it was off of Scooble.
Well, do your homework on that. But Brown, and for me, if Brown pitches the way he's been pitching, he's going to be in the top 3. But
Oh
if
yeah,
he doesn't, oh, we got live video coverage of Stebby, and you can see Screwball's face after he gave up that home run.
yeah, he was pissed.
He was pissed,
He's pissed
especially
because
especially
he's
at
the
that
type of
ballpark.
guy that wants every pitch.
But especially at that ballpark too. He's heated.
Yeah, he's like, oh
That
yeah,
Sacramento field,
Detroit is not gone probably.
yeah, in Sacramento, you're playing at a minor league ballpark, so
Well,
he knows
actually,
he's like.
let's look. That's gone all 30, 450, 450.
But think about that too. You remember Hunter Brown's start with
In the
against
Tampa
the
Bay,
Tampa Bay Rays. He
bro,
had
that
two
one
home
was so
runs.
annoying to watch as as a viewer to watch that one. That was just such a headache because you could just think like, Hunter Brown was like they literally just poked the bat out there and it got out.
Danny Jansen, I remember, had one of them was like 1 out of 30 ballparks, and it was that ballpark
Terrible.
specifically. But
And
yeah,
and if they go to the playoffs or to the World Series, they will be playing there.
oh yeah, Tampa Bay specifically.
Yes, Tampa Bay specific. So think
Yeah.
that's something to think about.
But yeah, Hunter Brown, I mean, really good month of August, and he has one more start to just capitalize on that. Maybe another American League Pitcher of the Month award for him. I think it could be between him. It could be between Jason Alexander. But if you want to be Hunter Brown, you want to end the month of August on a good note, and this is a good team to do it against in the Colorado Rockies.
And I can tell you what, I believe Hunter Brown hasn't given up a grand slam this year. So
I know it's going to hurt Screwball's ERA. I'm very interested to see after this start.
Yeah, but the way that dude's so damn dominant, and by like 2 weeks from now, like he'll just shake it off like nothing and pick up a lot more strikeouts.
Dude, I mean, Screwball's a dog, man. I like the way he pitches, the mentality. I mean, the way he went to Houston and pitched against the Astros, man. I mean, it was just, it was shocking.
Yeah, it was demoralizing.
I thought Houston was going to make an adjustment and actually have a good.
Yeah, and they just couldn't. They were just fooled. But anyways, let's move on to the Wednesday game. 7-10, Chase Dollander versus Framber Valdez. Valdez is 11-7 with a 3.32 ERA versus Detroit. Not his best start. A very ugly start. 5 innings pitched, 7 hits, 7 earned runs, 4 walks, 2 Ks. You're just hoping that Framber could bounce back this game, get back to being Framber, and just get rid of this bad energy that he's been holding on his shoulders and carrying on him. You know what I mean? Just figure out how to just focus on you and let baseball be baseball. A lot of times it seems like Framber might be out there trying to do too much.
Yeah, if it helps Framber Valdez though in this start, 5-2 and 185 ERA back at Daikin Park, only has a 214 opponent batting average compared to being on the road being 254. So this would be a good one for him. And even specifically, we're talking about home games. Framber's probably going to have 2 more starts at Daikin because the Astros have a 10-game homestand at the ballpark. So this would be a good start for him. Bounce back start, especially I just said with Hunter Brown. Nothing against the Colorado Rockies, but they're on their way to having a 100-game lost season. These 2 starts from these guys, 1-2 punch in your rotation. This is a good one for Framber specifically because he's been struggling for these past 3-4 starts. There's one of them that he pitched. It was still a good one. I think he had a quality start, but Framber being able to get out of this move of it. 520 post All-Star break. You're hoping for Valdez to get back on the winning column and get back on track to have that deeper push into October.
Yeah, and you can't be ashamed of this Rockies offense either, because they're able to pull out a comeback against the Dodgers as well. So
if I'm not mistaken, too, they've been playing hot baseball.
Yeah,
we were talking about that series against Baltimore, and they had like 8-2 in their last 10 games. I was like, oh shoot.
Yeah, we gotta be careful. But Dollander, who is the prospect for the
top prospect for the
Rockies, yes, is going up against Framber Valdez, who is kind of struggling to find his way into the MLB, posting a 2-10 record with a 6.91 ERA versus LA Dodgers, 3.2 innings pitched, 9 hits, 7 earned runs, 2 walks, 5 Ks. He does have fastball, curveball, cutter, sinker, changeup, slider. Last time versus Houston, he only went 2.2 innings pitched, 7 hits, 6 earned runs, 2 walks, 1 K. Walker had a 4-hit game, and Caratini had a 4 RBI game.
Yeah, who can forget about Victor Caratini having a grand slam at Coors Field?
Yeah,
so
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
but Vic, I mean, man, and that's another guy we missed on overall thoughts. But for him, 5 from 9 in that series, a double, a home run, 6 RBIs against the Orioles. But this has been a career high for him this whole season in home runs, RBIs. So man, it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be very tough for Houston to try to re-sign him unless he could be convinced. But I don't know if you had mentioned that Houston needs to find a way to have him come back in the Nationals uniform after this season because his contract does expire
Oh yeah,
after.
everybody's gonna want him. That's gonna be a. He could be a starter, and he can easily be, your relief catcher,
And
easily.
a
And
lot
then
of
if you,
a lot of Astros Twitter, social media specifically, has been calling for Victor Caratini to start over Yiner Diaz. Um,
two
but
times or two times or two.
yeah, but let me see. He made his debut in 17 with the Cubs. So he has 8 seasons, I believe. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 9
Two
seasons.
more.
If I'm not
Oh,
mistaken.
well, he needs one more, then they get the service, huh?
Yeah, 10 years of service. But I mean, this is his best season. I mean, career highs in doubles, career high in he's tied his career high with home runs with 11, which possibly that could be already going over. Career high in RBIs. Let's see what else is a career high. I mean, right now, just a little low. I mean, honestly, this is a career high with the batting average. He had 269, but he only played 87 games. He already has 94 games under his belt uh this season with the Astros. Caratini, man, I mean, he's done a really good job. OPS 743. That's why I said I think when it comes to postseason, the Astros could look into adding a three catcher mix, adding Cesar Salazar into that third spot
Rotation.
of the catcher's role, and Caratini possibly getting a start in DH, or being the guy on the bench just ready for his name to be called up. But Caratini just in general has played a really good role this season for the Astros.
Yeah, real quick. The Mariners won 9-6 as of right now. They just closed out the game against the Padres.
9-6, and they have what's that new rivalry? They call it a Vetter Cup.
I'm not even. I don't
It's
even know.
something like that. But I wanted to say this too. This is a schoolball update. 6 and 2/3, 7 hits, 6 runs,
Jeez,
but only
Tyler.
one earned run. He only got a
Yeah,
run. That was only one earned run.
that's crazy.
12 strikeouts though.
What a day, huh? It's like you hear the beginning, and then you're like, oh, one and run only, okay, and then how many strikeouts? Oh, you know what I mean?
12.
So you're
Yeah.
just like, okay, wait, what the heck? It doesn't. The math ain't mathing, but
Yeah. The
and
Tigers had 2 errors in this game, but for Houston, this helps them because Detroit would go to 78-55 if they lose, which it looks like they could be losing this game 8-3.
well, last but not least, Thursday a 110 start. TBD, to be announced, to be determined, however you want to take it, however you want to call it. Basically, you got a Ghost versus Jason Alexander as of right now. Alexander the Great, 4-1 with a 4.59 ERA versus Baltimore, 5.1 innings pitched, 8 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 3 Ks, worked out of travel, and is a big piece in his Astros rotation. So he could just hope and believe that Alexander keep on continuing doing what he's been doing lately and not try to do too much.
Yeah, we've talked about it and we said it. I mean, he's just done Alexander the Great, and that's why that nickname has been upon him since returning. I mean, not returning, but since coming into a Nationals uniform, he's just been that great for Houston in this rotation. And honestly, Esteban, this series is a potential sweep for the Astros. I mean, this is a one on paper that you look at and you're like, the Astros have to sweep the Colorado Rockies at Dyken Park. There is no way in hell the Astros should lose any of these games with the
Yeah.
Rockies having a 37-94 record. But they are 5-5 in their last 10 games, and they have lost 4 straight. So if you're Houston, and if you're a Nationals fan, you are looking to see them L's pile on the Colorado Rockies and see them lose 7 straight and potentially seeing your home team um, go out there with the sweep. But the Astros, they actually need to have a series win against the Rockies. If they can't sweep them, then that's just baseball for you. But you cannot have a losing series against the Rockies. Like I said, nothing against the Rocks, but you have to take care of business, just like you did over there in Baltimore against the Orioles. You got to take care of business with these below 500 winning teams, and right now it's a good start for them in the homestand going against the Rockies because after the Rockies, they'll have the Angels who are 3-7 in their last 10 games.
And it's funny too because before, like, whenever time I would always hear about the Rockies, the only person I always thought about was Charlie Blackman, and then now like
Yeah, you thought of
I don't,
Charlie
I don't
Blackman,
even know
Nolan
anybody
Arenado.
on the Rockies. I mean, I think just Brendan Doyle, probably the only guy that I know, maybe possibly
Yeah,
on the
Ezekiel
roster.
Tovar is another good shortstop they have. But yeah, like you don't hear the Todd Heltons, the Troy Tulowitzkis, Ubaldo Jimenez. I don't know if you knew who that was.
Yeah, I remember you, Baldo.
Starting pitcher for the Rock.
CJ Crone, he had a good little career with them too for a
Oh
little
man,
bit.
he had one of the. He was a
He was a
train.
monster, yeah, dude. He
Yeah, he
was
had
a
like 40
monster.
home runs.
He had some tanks right there. Chris Bryant was a Rocky for a little bit. Just
He's
fell
still
off
a Rocky. He's just on the
just
IL.
fell off the face of the earth, basically.
Yeah, I think a lot of Rockies fans are comparing that injury to Anthony Rendon, his tenure with the Angels. So yeah, he's just been on the IL
Arenado,
ever since with the
Arenado,
Rock.
the
Yeah,
ex Rocky.
yeah,
That's about it.
Nolan. Trevor Story's another guy.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about that one. Yeah, that
He's
used to
having
be
a
the big
good
team.
season. Having a great season in Boston, not to mention.
Yeah, he's putting it together too as a recent because I know he was struggling for a little bit. He had like a little slump going on, and now recently he's been tearing the damn ball off the cover.
Yeah, he's been looking really good in a Red Sox uniform ever since coming from that injury last season. Last season it was very bad. It was like his shoulder was. I don't know what the injury was, but I mean his
Oh
shoulder
yeah,
was.
yeah, I know. I seen it. It was a shoulder. I remember watching it. I watched it live.
It was
He
against the
dived.
Angels.
He dived out for a ball, and his shoulder pretty much like popped. I guess when he was on the ground, it just like hyper extended it, and he was shocked. But you want to go ahead and wrap it up with the injury updates because we're already about to reach the hour and 30-minute mark already.
Yeah, I mean, damn, you're showing out the muscles right there, showing the gym out, baby. But just a shout out to all the crowd out there. I mean, a great crowd tonight. What we have on the pod, so we really appreciate you, Night Owls. What do we call them now?
The late night Gooners, the full steam Gooners,
The
the
full steam
Goonies.
Gooners, the Goonies. He Stebby likes to call them. But to wrap it up on Astros injury updates, Ben Souza been placed on the 15-day IL with left elbow inflammation. Where have we heard that word from? Brandon Walter had the same thing. So we saw how that turned out to be for Mr. Walter. But Saturday, Souza was diagnosed with a low grade elbow flexor pronator strain. He will not throw for a minimum of 2 weeks and will be reevaluated in early September. And this, I mean, Souza's had a really good season. I mean, of course, there's been some games that he had gotten hit off of, but he's been very reliable out of the bullpen for Joe Espada. And like I said, I mean, 4 lefties in a bullpen, which is insane to ever think that the Astros will have 4 left-handed southpaw
And then
relievers.
before, like we had no lefties, bro.
Yeah, the
You know what I
Astros
mean?
didn't have none. They would barely have one, if
And
anything.
now you're like, damn,
Would
we're
have to
sad
go.
with this many.
Phil Mayton would have to go out and face the lefties, and he was a right-handed pitcher.
Yeah,
So,
I remember those days. I mean,
but there's no really injury update on Jordan Alvarez. Real quick, we can talk about Brendan Rodgers. He was on a rehab assignment with the Sugarland Space Cowboys. Pedro Leon going back to the Space Cowboys as well.
going yard.
Yeah, and actually being off the rehab, he's on the rehab assignment. I just do not think he's going to come into the Astros roster. He'll probably be option after his rehab assignments are done. But real quick, we could talk a little bit of Alvarez. More than likely, Jordan Alvarez is going to return to this lineup in this Rocky series. A lot of Astro fans are going to be excited. The big
Yeah,
man has.
I think they're just teasing everybody. Like everybody already knows what's gonna
I'd be
happen.
shocked. I honestly would be shocked if
He's not
Jordan
activated
Alvarez.
in the morning.
No, I would be shocked if Alvarez doesn't. If he doesn't play in this series against the Rockies, because he was what 5 for 9.
No, he was
In
seven. He was in 4 rehab games, 467 batting average, 7 for 15, 4 doubles, 4 RBIs, and 2 walks.
yeah, so I'd be shocked if the big man isn't in the lineup, and that's the part that I'm very excited to see for the Astros, to see where he's going to be placed in this lineup, because Carlos Correa has been really hitting the ball really good in the 3 spot, and that's a good thing for Houston to have. Jerry Pena, number 1, more than likely going to be the table setter and leading off. How was Jose Altuve at 2, Carlos Correa at 3, more than likely Jordan Alvarez is going to be number 4, Christian Walker at 5, You could put Jesus Sanchez at 6 if you want the lefty righty kind of mix, and then Yiner Diaz at 7. So this lineup is looking really good. And like I said, if you're the Astros, you're hoping Alvarez can get on track to hitting the ball really well, that Christian Walker stays hot, and Yiner Diaz kind of looks for that power surge and hits the ball very hard.
Yeah, they had a question about Jake Myers as well,
Oh yeah,
man.
Ashworth Craig. What about Jake? I haven't seen any news on Jake Myers recently. I believe the last thing I have heard, and I'm just doing my due diligence and trying to see um any update on him, but I believe he is still rehabbing in Houston, just with conditioning, throwing, all that fun stuff. I'm just bear with me. I'm just looking real quick in my notes to see if I have anything.
I'm from all of them seeing is that the last time we updated y'all was with the running and all that stuff. The Astros just pretty much have him doing the same thing. Espada said we're trying to get him back to work on his first step reactions, mobility. Espada said once he clears that, we'll get him going on a rehab assignment. But he's doing really well, so
And that makes sense for him because
they don't
that
want to
first
rush him.
step besides that, that first step as an outfielder, your first step is back and you're putting pressure on your
Yeah.
calf muscle by stepping back, at least if you're on your toes.
Hmm.
So let me see. Yeah, I do not have a updated whatchamacallit, injury update on Jake. I think that's the best I got. The best that Stevan got too, but that makes a total bunch of a bunch of sense for Houston. Let me see. Let me see. This is gonna be the last thing I check right here. If it's not there, then yeah, okay. Right calf strain. This was back in August 18. So they're more than likely going to be a new injury update list coming up tomorrow. I'll make sure to put that out. I usually tweet that from my personal page. So yeah, if you didn't know, that's our Twitter handles right there in the bottom where our names are. But Jake Myers is in Florida continuing his hitting, running, and throwing program. And that was, like I said, August 18. That was during the Detroit Tigers series. So more than likely, we'll get a recently updated one probably tomorrow from the Rockies and from the Astros. So like Stepan said, you do not want to rush these guys back from injury. Look at Alvarez now. The more the important thing from Jordan was seeing how he recovered from his swings, and you know, so far so good. The Astros haven't seen nothing. Jordan hasn't complained about his hand, so I think it's an all go for Jordan being back in this Astros lineup.
Yeah, that's the last thing you want to do. You do not want to rush anybody, especially with the little time that we have left in the season. Anybody goes down right now, there's no there's like it's a possibility of them not being able to play the rest of the season. So you gotta just hope that everybody stays healthy, everybody stays fine, because times could get tough, and it's been real tough all season for y'all Astros fans. So just let eventually Jake will be back up for sure.
Yeah, most definitely. Um, you do not want
Oh,
to rush anybody back.
Mr. Cerner, where's your tardy pass?
I think Angel got to go get
Yeah,
it from the office
with
from the
his little
gas
wood
room.
with the wooden paddle.
Kevin Certain making a late night appearance as we are at the end of the show, like Stebby said, an hour and 30. More than likely, we're going to finish. But like I said in the beginning of the show, where you can find us social media wise, we're on Twitter, we are on TikTok at Full Steam Ahead, FSA Full Steam Ahead on Instagram. Of course, this 10 game homestand. Hopefully, we get some content, some reels going out, maybe some interviews with some of the players, maybe the coaches as well. But of course, YouTube, I mean, that's what we're trying to get bigger on. We'll probably get a giveaway this coming month in September because, of course, it is a deep push for the playoffs, and we want to, of course, show our appreciation to our listeners and our followers throughout our shows. But FSA, like I said, Full Sim Head on Instagram. Of course, the YouTube channel is there. We are live on YouTube. We are live on Twitter. So if you're on Twitter, which is majority of our audience is, make sure you go to the YouTube channel and follow us, subscribe to us, hit that like button as well, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any interviews with coaches, players, some fun short reels with the players as well. like I had mentioned at the beginning of the show, we had recently put out our Billy Wagner press conference video from the press conference of him getting his number retired. A bunch of good insight, good information, and good stories from Billy talking about his number being retired, why he chose the number 13, and his experience at Cooperstown. And last but not least, if you don't want to look at our beautiful faces, you want to hear our beautiful voices on the road or on 59 or like in the workout room, like Stebby's probably gonna go do in just a second after this show. Make sure you do that. Yeah. We're on Spotify. We are on Apple Podcasts. Wherever you get your podcasts, we are there. Like, rate, subscribe.
Or you're like Mr. Kevin Cerner. He has it on the cockpit right now of the airplane.
Yeah, I believe he was on a flight. I don't know where, but he was on a flight.
He's
Glad he
going
made
on
it safe. It looks like
secret mission. I think he was going to Afghanistan. No, I'm
Oh
kidding.
shoot! I
But
thought he was going
anyways,
to be with Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible.
thanks every single one of y'all for coming out here and rocking with us, especially those late night gooners. Staying up late with
What
us.
is it called? The full scene what?
The full scene gooners. But yeah, thank every single one of y'all. New faces, same faces, and really appreciate it very much because without y'all, this wouldn't be as fun. And pretty much like we'll be out here talking to nobody, and that's no fun. But we're glad that y'all trusting us with y'all time and trusting our stats and what we try to deliver y'all about the Astros. And we could just hope and continue that we could continue to grow as ourselves and also as a fan base with y'all and try to connect more and more every time. We're just trying to, get better every time as well.
Yes, we always look to get better. But Tuesday night, opener against the Rockies. I know we have probably some followers and some subscribers on here that love Hello Kitty. I think this is the second night that the Astros are going to host Hello Kitty night. So I think the first 10,000 fans get a Hello Kitty belt back.
That shit's gonna be hectic.
Yeah,
At the
like I said,
ballpark.
the first night it was very hectic. So
Yeah.
I'm going into the ballpark. It was just insane seeing where the lines were. I mean, it was almost wrapped around the whole damn stadium. So Hello Kitty night.
According to Kevin, we got to redo the episode from the top.
Yeah, bullshit. I ain't doing that. You can do that on your own. But yeah, Stebby, you already said your final thoughts on that part, unless you want to add on.
No good.
We Gucci. All right. Until then, we'll give you a recap of the Colorado Rockies. Like not Kevin. You see, I already got him. But step on head, like he said, I appreciate each and every one of y'all on tonight's show, and we'll look forward to talking to y'all after the Rocky series and get you that preview going against the Los Angeles Angels, which is a 4-game series, and the series finale is on a Monday.
That's weird.
Yeah, very weird as hell. But of course, Monday is Labor Day, so we will talk to y'all about that preview. And till then, y'all have a great start to y'all work week, and we'll do that pretty soon. So see y'all then.
Stay blessed.